What's going on? Time to look at some more metal albums, and today I'm going to look at my 5 most recent CD purchases, all more or less black metal releases, and all purchased on the same trip to one of my favorite used CD stores. It's a couple hours for me, but I like to go a couple times a year when I can. Metal section's not that big, but they just have awesome stuff that I'm always surprised to find, and it's very well priced. And I'm very happy with what I found that day. Case in point, this is the debut album by Portal, Sepia. Portal, of course, are the Australian extreme metal band. It's a very unique, noisy, suffocating mixture of mostly death metal, black metal kind of noise. Very unique. People try to get the same style, but no one quite matches Portal. And I have all their albums except for Vexavoid, and up until now, this one. So I'm definitely a fan. I remember this was released on Profound Lore for like a North American version in 2005, a couple years later. And I didn't get that. It was like out of print by the time I discovered Portal. But I remember the ads for it, and that's where I first discovered them. And I was expecting definitely a much rougher version of Portal. And yes, the more recent material is a little bit more accessible, even though it's still very underground and extreme music. But this was already a fully formed Portal, I'd say. It's definitely got a lot in common with the second and third albums. And as much as people say Portal are a band that make their music as unpleasant and unmusical as possible, I've just always found them an easy band to just kind of get lost in, and been a fan for a long time. Next up, this is Verathron, The Confessional of the Black Penitents. So Verathron, the legendary Greek black metal band, one of the big three of Greek black metal. This was a EP put out in 2015 on Agonia. It's got 3 new songs and 4 live tracks. Verathron are mostly known for their His Majesty at the Swamp album. That's a great album and the one that most people are familiar with. But it's epic, classic, Greek black metal. Not much more to say. I remember they came to Toronto 10, 12 years ago on tour playing the Hard Luck, a small metal bar that I haven't been to in a couple years, but I'm pretty sure it's still around, and that's a show I really should have caught. You don't see bands like this coming through too often. Mgła, With Hearts Toward None. So Mgła are a Polish black metal band. Probably the biggest underground black metal band. I don't know about that, but they're definitely up there, very influential right now. This was put out on Northern Heritage, their second full-length album. Melodic and ripping black metal with amazing drumming. I wasn't aware of Mgła when that album first came out. Like a lot of people, I came on board when this one came out. Exercised in Futility. I remember it was a big deal in the black metal world when it came out. Got a copy soon after. And I do think this album lives up to the hype, but I do find it somewhat samey compared to the material both before and after, in my opinion. Druk, Blood in Our Wells. Druk are a Ukrainian black metal band. And although I've never put Druk in my top 15, 20 bands, the thing about them is everything they put out is good. Every time they put out a release, I'm instantly interested in hearing it. It's just the band I have a soft spot for, and I think they're pretty amazing. Some stuff is better than others. And like Mgła, they have some albums that I do like, but are samey. my favorite album by them is probably Autumn Aurora, with a bit of a soft spot for Eternal Turn of the Wheel, which I think a lot of people don't like. But, you know, time and a place in my life, I guess. This is, I believe, the third full-length album. Maybe the fourth. A lot of people say this is their best one, though. Decibel Omega, Kinos. Decibel Omega, of course, are a French black metal band formed in 1998. And they've been a real constant elite name in black metal ever since. Even the more underground days, they were always just kind of approached with a high level of respect. And to me, this album is where they kind of broke on to the next level. And I think that was in part because, although this album first came out on Norma Evangelium Diaboli, and that's the version I have here, it was put out in North America at the time on Southern Lord, and that album, Southern Lord was a huge underground label at the time. That was probably what, like 2000, I'm gonna guess like 2005, feels right to me. But Decibel Omega have 8 full-length albums. This is a 3-song EP, about 35-40 minutes, that came between their 3rd and 4th full-length. And I think it stands up with their full-length albums for sure. And we'll take this out quick because I think I've looked at it before. But this is the most recent full-length album, The Long Defeat. I think this is a masterpiece. I'm trying not to overplay it. It's just one of those albums I just know is special, and I'm just gonna, you know, pull it out a couple times a year and keep it fresh. And I can't say that about a lot of albums these days. So that's a 10 out of 10. If you haven't, get it. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time.